welcome to Colvin Mill Historic Site. My name is Danny, and today we're going to be doing a very special tour of the mill. The mill is this big building you see behind me. It was built in 1811 and is over 200 years old. Today on our tour, we're going to be meeting with some of my friends who are going to show us around the mill and tell us a little bit about how it works. This is the door to my friend Marvin Miller's office. Let's knock and see if he's here.
Oh, hello, Danny. I see you brought some new friends to see what we do at the mill.
That's right, Marvin. Would you please tell us about how the mill works and what you do?
I would be happy to. My name is Marvin, and this is my mill. I make flour here from all the good corn and wheat that farmers grow on their farms and bring to me. First, I weigh the corn or wheat in the big scale beside you. Danny, can you show everyone how we weigh the grain?
I sure can. This here is the giant beam scale, and this is what the miller would use to weigh the grain brought to him by farmers. The farmers would harvest the grain from their fields and bring it here to the mill and then put it in this big bucket. The miller would then pull down on this huge lever here to weigh how much grain was in the bucket. Based on how much it weighs, he knows how much to pay the farmer.
Exactly. Now that I know how much grain the farmer brought, I know how much money to pay them. Next, I grind the corn or wheat between the big millstones. The great big water wheel outside goes around and around to make the millstones turn. My helper and I put the flour into bags and take it to stores so people can buy it and make good things to eat. Millers and farmers work very hard so people can have lots of good things to eat made from flour. Did you have anything to eat today made from flour, like bread or cereal?
Yes, I did. I had a bagel for breakfast. Do you have any farmers coming by today with any grain?
Yes, I do. Fred the farmer should be coming any minute, and I need to talk to him. Would you take your friends around the mill and show them how everything works?
I would be glad to. Thank you for talking to us today, Marvin.
Have a good time, and thanks for coming to visit.
Bye, Marvin. Bye. Once we get the grain from the farmers, we're going to want to clean it. Because a lot of times, grain coming straight from the field has some leaves in it, some sticks, some dust, maybe even occasionally bugs. All those things that we don't really want ground up and put in our birthday cake. To do that, we're going to use a machine like this. This is called a fanning mill, and it uses air to get rid of all the dust and bugs and things that we don't want to grind up with our grain. So what you would do is pour your dirty grain in the top, spin the big lever on the side, which is going to generate a lot of airflow, and blow all of your dust and grit away from your grain. When you first get your grain from the field, it's going to look something like this. You can see there's some plant material in there. It's not necessarily looking the greatest. But after we use the fanning mill, it's going to come away looking something more like this, which, as you can see, is just those little grain kernels, which is exactly what we want to grind. Earlier today, Marvin said he was going to meet a farmer named Fred. I was hoping we would run into him so that we could learn a little bit about farming.
Matilda, oh Matilda, where are you, Matilda?
I think I hear someone. Do you guys hear something? Hello?
Oh, howdy, friends. I don't believe we've met. My name's Fred, and I have a farm just up the road.
Oh, it's nice to meet you, Fred. Who are you calling for?
Earlier today, my wife Matilda and I brought a wagon full of corn to the mill. I started talking with Marvin the Miller. We must have been talking for a while because when I turned back to Matilda, she was gone. Now I have no idea where she is. Have any of you seen her?
I've only seen Marvin, but maybe one of my friends here has seen her. Can you describe her to us?
Of course. She was wearing a pretty blue dress and had her hair in a straw bonnet. Have any of you seen someone that looks like that?
I haven't. Have you kids seen anyone? Well, no one here has seen Matilda, but maybe you could tell us a little bit about what a farmer does.
Why, sure. Farmers like me grow corn and wheat for Marvin to grind here in the mill. I get up very early to feed my animals and milk the cows. Then I spend the rest of the day taking care of the crops that I grow. I love farming, but it sure is hard work. Even the animals work hard on the farm. Today, my horse Charlie pulled my wagon full of corn to the mill and worked so hard that he wore out his horseshoes. So I'm going to the blacksmith shop to get Charlie a new pair of horseshoes.
Well, thanks for talking to us, Fred, and good luck finding Matilda.
Will you do me a favor? If you find Matilda, can you tell her I'm going to the blacksmith shop, please?
We sure will. Thanks, Fred.
All right, thank you. Goodbye.
Fred said he's going to the blacksmith shop to get Charlie some new horseshoes. Here's an example of what one of those horseshoes he would buy would look like.
Oh, hello there! My, what a fine-looking group of children. Have any of you seen my husband, Fred?
You must be Matilda. Fred was just here. Kids, do y'all remember where he said he was going? That's right, he was going to the blacksmith shop.
Oh, thank you all so much for remembering. I came with Fred to the mill to deliver grain. He started talking with Marvin the Miller, and those two can just talk for hours. I wanted to wait for him, but I have a lot to do today, so I decided to go to the general store without him. There are lots of things for sale at the general store. I was able to buy everything we needed for the farm in our house.
That's great. Did you buy anything special at the general store?
Why, yes, I did. Fred's birthday is coming up soon, so I bought him some surprises. First, I bought some nice blue cloth that I will sew into a shirt. And I bought a new straw hat to go with the shirt. And Fred has a sweet tooth, so I also bought him some candy. Earlier today, while Fred wasn't looking, I got some flour from Marvin the Miller, so I can bake Fred a great big birthday cake. Well, I guess I should go find him at the blacksmith shop. Have fun learning about the mill. Goodbye.
Bye, Matilda. All right, kids, do y'all remember what we were talking about before we met Matilda and Fred? That's right, we just talked about cleaning the grain that Fred the farmer brings to the mill. Now we're going to talk about the next step that Marvin takes care of, which is grinding the grain. These big stones you see here is how the miller would grind the grain. As you can see, they've got a lot of really little bitty fine lines on them. These lines work almost like scissors, cutting the grain into smaller and smaller pieces. The grain will fall from a shaft in the ceiling into the eye of the stone, get ground up, and then go downstairs to the basement to get sifted. Now, do you think the miller moved these big stones all by himself? No, that would have been really dangerous. He had an assistant called a Dusty. In this case, Marvin's assistant's name is Alvin, and sometimes he likes to take a little nap. So let's go over and see if he's actually doing his job today. Look, there's Alvin sleeping on the job again. Let's wake him up. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Wake up, Alvin! Alvin, we caught you sleeping on the job again.
Oh, hi there. I wasn't sleeping. I was just resting my eyes.
Alvin, we could hear you snoring.
Oh, please don't tell the miller I was sleeping. I don't want to get in any trouble. I've just been working so hard that I needed a little bit of rest.
Well, all right, Alvin, we won't tell on you this time, but stay awake and do your job. Speaking of your job, can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Of course. I'm Marvin's big helper. In return for him teaching me how to run the mill, I sweep the floors and keep the mill clean and do whatever else Marvin asked me to do. When I grow up, I'll know enough to be a miller all by myself. But for now, I'm just a Dusty.
A Dusty is the miller's assistant. They help him run the mill and keep everything clean. Well, Alvin, it was nice to see you, and I hope that you keep working hard. We're going to go see the water wheel now.
Oh, I will. In fact, I'm going to start sweeping right now. Goodbye, everyone. Have fun watching the water wheel.
All right, guys, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. It is the last step on our tour today. It's our water wheel. Our water wheel here at Colvin Run stands at 20 feet tall, and it has 60 buckets that help carry the water around and generate power for the mill. That's right, this is the only power source for our mill. So water flows from Colvin Run, comes over the water wheel, drops into the tail race here, and goes on into Difficult Run.
We hope you enjoyed your tour of the mill and that you'll come back and visit us as soon as we're open. Thanks for stopping by today.